ask you to ask yourself, who are you? What do you want to say about your life? Whom do you want to hear it? I am a ghostwriter and a writing collaborator. My first client, Albert, was almost 80 years old when he retained me as his ghostwriter. Very successful businessman. When I first met him, he wasn't speaking to his 2 adult daughters, his only children. His very first memory was waking up as a 3-year-old in his mother's bedroom, awash in blood. She had just shot and killed her lover. We worked together for 5 years, Albert and I. I heard about many other tragedies in his life and many successes. One of the tragedies was his associate tried to murder him. He still had the nine pieces of bullets still in his body when I met him. And that same associate actually did murder his fiancée. But he had many successes. He built a marvelous building and is a multimillionaire today. A marvelous business. After 5 years of working together, he invited me to this big shindig in which he was celebrating his 85th birthday. And when I went to greet him, he had his arms around his 2 daughters and introduced me to them. Now, you can't tell me that man didn't change in the 5 years. I saw it. I saw him lighten up. I saw him become more humorous with himself. There are many reasons why people write their life story. Albert, whether he knew it or not, he healed his heart. There are other reasons. What are some other reasons why people tell their life stories to somebody? Yes?
To leave a legacy for their children.
To leave a legacy for their children. So how many of you would like to have known more about your great-grandparents? Or your grandparents? Or even your parents? Do you want your children to have that same quandary about where they came from and what your culture was like, what your challenges were like? You want to document your story, at least for your descendants, if not for yourself. And there are other reasons people tell their life story. My other client, Barbara Snow Clark, was the daughter of 2 famous naturalists and explorers. Her grandfather had brought back specimens from Africa and the Arctic around the turn of the last century, when most of us had never seen those animals, even in pictures. Her father did the same, and he created movies about his adventures. Her father, built the first zoo in Oakland, the Snow Zoo, and the family house was in the zoo. Now, Barbara was a very unassuming woman, but she did grow up in a zoo. And she had me write her story about growing up with lions and tigers and bears and monkeys and serpents for her grandchildren. But there was a subtext to this. It wasn't just a legacy for her grandchildren. She was distinguishing herself from her 2 illustrious ancestors. Yes, you did all this great stuff, but I grew up in a zoo, and you didn't. And this is what I learned about dealing with elephants. I can write your story for you, or with you. And more than that, if you want to write it yourself, I offer a 6-week workshop to do it in, where you will have support of other students and my unfailing attention during those 6 weeks. If you follow my instructions, you can finish with a draft by the end of 6 weeks. You have to work, but you can do it. Now, I want to turn your attention You have my offer sheet? My next workshop will be in San Francisco at the Italian Athletic Club. Do you know where that is? Yes, it's on North Beach. It faces Washington Square. Problem is, I don't know when it'll be. I'm still negotiating with them. It'll probably be in September. I usually charge $4.95 for this experience. With that, you get a lot of material, you get exercises, you get tremendous amount of counseling and support. But for you today, because I don't know when it is, and because you are here today, I'm offering it to you for $2.95. And in addition, you get a bonus. My ebook called The Search for Your Life, which does not teach you how to write your autobiography. I do that. It teaches you how to do research on your own life. You think you know everything about your life, it's all out of your head. No, you don't. It's all in documents and other memorabilia that you have in your house that you never thought of. And one of the things it teaches you, which we also do in my course, is how to interview other people. I want you to have the best experience of writing your tale. It doesn't have to be your life story. I'm a nonfiction writer. I can teach you how to write about your own business. Now, Katerina does wonderful books, but everybody gets a chapter. You may want to tell a bigger story. You may want to tell people how you invented Lesson So, how you created your business. It may be a bigger tale, and I can help you do that. Could be about your art, your philosophy of life. You trust me, because I'll trust you. Thank you.